What up, it's Damon Dominique, and I like to switch things up on y'all sometimes. Y'all liked my French video a few weeks ago, and I thought, let me just get you another one. So this one is all about the things that just that bullshit. Like, why? Why do you have to keep hitting me with the bullshit? But I guess that's what makes the language beautiful. Or that's what I guess we have to tell ourselves, because there are rules that exist and we need to learn them. So once you've gotten past the immediate annoyances in the French language, like inanimate objects being masculine or feminine, having to decipher if you should use tu or vous with somebody when you just want to call them you and be equal. Once you've understood that that's gonna just haunt you for the rest of your French education and you can put it aside, then you'll be fully prepared to work on a lot of other aspects of the French language that are just as difficult, if not more. Let's get started. Son and ça, and mon and mine, ton and ta. These are possessive adjectives, I believe they're called. Okay, so the first thing we need to know is that this doesn't work the way that it works in English. In English, we mark possession by saying whose it is. Is it mine because I'm a guy, or is it hers because she's a girl? It doesn't work that way in French. It works by the gender of the thing that you're talking about. It don't matter if I'm gay, straight, an alien, male, female, transgender. It doesn't matter. What matters is that this plant is feminine because it's la plante, right? So you would say c'est sa plante. It's his plant. But you're not saying his, you're saying it's plant. It's the, you see what I'm trying to say? It's the plants. It's his plant, but the sa isn't based on me because I'm a guy. It's based on the gender of the thing itself. Picture this, you and your neighbor are looking at the newbie moving in, the cutie McDuty across the street moving in, and you know his name's Antoine. So you're like, oh, Antoine a acheté une nouvelle voiture. Your neighbor goes, ah ouais? C'est sa voiture là? But notice voiture is feminine. La voiture, right? But you're not saying it's his car. You're not using son because you're thinking it's him. You're doing it the French way. You're looking at voiture, which is feminine, and you'd say c'est sa voiture instead of son. Even if it's a guy or girl, it don't matter the gender. It's actually kind of refreshing. It doesn't matter the gender of the person. What matters is the gender of the object. Or get this, we could just get rid of gender and then everyone would be okay. All right, so Antoine bought a new car. Now Monique walks in though, and you're like, oh, et Monique a vendu son appartement aussi? Y'all are gossiping about the neighbors. Now, Monique's a girl, but apartment's masculine, so it doesn't matter if Monique's a guy or girl, because the apartment is masculine, so you use son. All right, and it wouldn't be French if we didn't have a little zinger in here. So nouns that begin with a vowel, A, E, I, O, U, H sometimes, you precede it always with the masculine, so it's always gonna be mon ami, even if my friend is a girl. It's not mommy, because then it sounds like mommy, which ends up being like grandma. Test! All right, we're gonna throw a test on y'all. Just pause the screen and then come back and I'll tell you the answer. All right, your school. Pause. If you answered ton école, you are correct. So it doesn't matter, again, if it's masculine or feminine. What matters is that école starts with an A, accent aigu. So you throw on the n, because you need that liaison. You need the mon école. It doesn't matter if it's feminine anymore, because what matters now is that you need this N to carry over. And the N is at the end of mon and ton and son. Basically, vowels always go masculine. Okay, everyone breathe. Everyone breathe. Breathe. Everybody breathe. Okay. You have to know the difference between a direct object and indirect object. Let me help you. I didn't know what this was either until I started learning my first foreign language. The difference is this. Direct object answers the verb. An indirect object is the person receiving the action from the verb. So it's not answering what, it's answering to whom. Le, la, les replace direct objects. All right? Everyone's like, look this, I hate French. Lui and Leur replace indirect objects. Okay, please, I hope with these graphics y'all are still following. I'm writing a letter. Now, if I want to say I'm writing it refers to the letter, which is an answer to what am I writing? A letter. It's a literal answer of what is happening from the verb. So you would say, je l'écris, like je la écris, I'm writing it. Now, this is where you're gonna get it twisted. Okay, if you say, I see Loïc, je vois Loïc, right? I see Loïc, je vois Loïc. I see him. This is where French and English are different. You would say, je le vois. And the le is technically him, but you're using le because it's replacing Loïc, which is the direct object of the sentence, because Loïc is what you're seeing. What do I see? Loïc. He's a direct object. He's not an indirect object. What I tell you in the beginning, this gets English speakers all messed up because we don't even know how to speak our own language, okay? We don't know how to speak our own language. We'll say things like, I buy him a plant. These constructions in English, I buy him a plant, make us think that like, what am I buying? Him. No, we're not buying him, we're buying the plant for him. That's why like we get our indirect and direct objects mixed up, because in English we can switch them up. We can say I buy him a plant and I buy a plant for him. Let's do another example where the person is the direct object. I know her. Her? I know. I know her. It ain't je lui connais. Do not say je lui connais. That's not correct. Her is the direct object because it's answering the what of the verb. What do I know? Who do I know? Her. So it's replaced by le, la, or les. And as we know, direct objects are le, la, and les. In French, it doesn't matter if it's him or her. What matters is if the him or her is an indirect object. Okay? I can see the confusion. I can see it. Okay, so the reason you're also probably getting this confused is that because for the most part, they're all the same. I mean like the mus and the tus and the nous and the vous are basically the same for direct objects and indirect objects. Il te présente un ami. He presents you a friend. The you in that sentence is an indirect object. He ain't presenting you. He's presenting a friend to you. The friend is the direct object. But if you want to say, he presents you to his friends, now the you, il te présente à ses amis, the te in that sentence now is a direct object. Who is he presenting? You! See, now in those sentences, the mus and the tus and the nous and the vous, it doesn't really matter if they're direct or indirect objects because it's always me, te, nous, vous. But it does matter when it's le, la, les, lui, leur. Those are the ones where it's important if it's a direct object or indirect object because it changes. I think a good example of this is when you're saying you love somebody. You would say, I love you, je t'aime. The te in that sentence is a direct object. Like, who do I love? Bitch, who do you love? You, I love you, baby. It's me and you. I love you. The te is a direct object. So, if I want to say I love him, I'm not saying je lui aime, because remember, lui is an indirect object. You would say je l'aime. I love him. Same thing with I love them. Je les aime, because the les is a direct object. Bitch, who do you love? Them. You're not loving something to them. You're loving them. I hope y'all got this. Qui versus motherfucking Que. Qui and Que. This one also gets people tripped up because people just want to say that all the time. Those would be like, the thing that, you did that. People just love the word that. In French, you have to differentiate between que and qui. Qui and que. Qui does the thing. Que, again, it's like the direct object and indirect object conundrum. La langue qui me frustre le plus, c'est le français. La langue is doing the thing. La langue qui me frustre, like it's the language that's frustrating me. That's the verb of the sentence. But you would say, malgré tout, la langue que je préfère est le français. The language that I prefer. The language isn't doing the preferring. It's me who's doing the preferring. The language is the object, again, object of the sentence. The object that I prefer. La langue que je préfère. But if the thing is a subject of a sentence, it's key. I don't want to explain this like a typical teacher, because this is when people get so thrown off and they're like, fuck this, I'll speak English. Qui versus que. Ask yourself, who's doing the thing? You doing the thing? Okay, then it's qui. If it ain't doing the thing, then it's que. Okay? Who doing what? For the most part, you'll probably see this qui and be like, oh, qui goes with people, because qui means who. Wrong! Qui sometimes goes with people, only if those people are doing the thing of the sentence. Les mecs qui nagent tout le temps ont des bons cœurs. The dudes who swim all the time have good bodies. Les mecs que je cherche sont toujours des nageurs. Like, the guys that I always look for are swimmers. In that sentence, the le mec is not doing the thing of the sentence. I'm doing the thing, I'm looking for the swimmers. Sometimes you'll have sentences like this. La peinture qu'elle fait ne va pas être vendue. Like, if the painting that she's doing is not gonna be sold, like, that shit look bad, okay? Like my paintings. That qu'elle, just know that that qu'elle is actually que elle, but you do the little apostrophe, smush it together, because you don't need que elle. It's hard to say. Qu'elle. And why is it que? Because she's doing the painting. The painting that she's doing isn't gonna be sold. Cause it's horrible. But if the painting's doing the thing in the sentence, la peinture qui se trouve à l'autre bout du couloir est un peu trop abstraite pour moi. Alright, while we're here on the qui versus que, we might as well throw in the quick ce qui ce que. Ce qui ce que. Suckers! Ce que je prends le matin habituellement, c'est un café avec du sucre. What I typically have in the morning? It's a coffee with some sugar. That would be ce que. What I have, like what I take in the morning. What is the object of the prendre? Okay? Then this next one, ce qui, again, ce qui is doing a sentence. Ce qui me réveille le matin, ce sont les oiseaux. Ce qui me réveille. What's waking me up? Ce qui. Sucky over here. Numbers. Y'all know these are just like ridiculous in French, right? Like, every time I've explained this to a French person, they're like, oh ouais, putain. Like, they've never even thought about this. Okay, so you know in French, I feel like I've said this like 10 million times on YouTube. French numbers just don't exist. Above 70, they don't exist. They just become math problems. Like 671 is like 60 plus 11. Okay, 70 to 80 is 60 plus 10. 60 plus 11, 60 plus 12, yes. Addition. 80, multiplication, right? That makes sense. 4 times 20. That's what I thought of first. 80, 90. Oh yeah, 4 times 20 plus 10. 90, 95, 99. Makes sense to me, but just like forget addition and multiplication for a little bit and just look at it like you're a French baby. That's how you say 75. 75. When I was learning French, I used to get like 80 to 90 and 90 to 100 all confused, because in textbooks I feel like they present it as different. In fact, let me get my textbook and see how they do this. I feel like they teach you in a weird way. They probably don't even have it in this beginner book because they're like, too complicated. Numbers are too complicated. Like, leave it to French in this beginner French book to put numbers, like something that you would learn as like a little kid, on page 72. Like, 72? They're like, this is really complicated. You guys, we can't teach you that yet. Okay, so first off, we know 70 is 60 plus 10, right? 80 is 4 by 20, 80. 90 is 40 by 20 plus 10, right? It's like, I used to think 80 and 90 were different things. When, I don't know why they... My thing is like, why are they teaching 90 as like 90? They should just be like 80 and above is 80 plus like the next number. 81, 82, 83. It just so happens that like 90, 91, 92 is like 90, 91, 92. That might be more confusing for you. For me, I would always be like, okay, wait, so 80 is 80, but then what's 90 again? 90 is just like a continuation of the 80 formula. We got de le, du, de la, de. First off, we know that du means de le, it's a contraction. We know that de le is used when the following word starts with the vowel or like an H, because they love like those H's. Let's start with what's easy. Okay, in negative sentences, anytime you're saying like ne pas, ne jamais, it's always de, de. Tu n'as pas d'argent. Tu n'as pas de visa. Tu n'as pas de copain. Tu n'as pas de classe. Tu n'as pas de style. Next, they use this word de, like, first off, everywhere. But why are they using it? They're using it in places that, like, in English, we don't have a word. Why don't we have a word in English? I don't know, frankly. Let's think of a French word. The watermelon. La pastèque. La pastèque. Les pastèques. Une pastèque. Des pastèques. That sounds good to me. Now look at English. The watermelon. The watermelons. A watermelon. Watermelons. Like, where is the article? Oh, right. We just decided we didn't need one. Okay. A few examples. I have a cat. J'ai un chat. I have cats. J'ai des chats. Now that's where you would get it twisted. You'd be like, j'ai chat, probably. Or you might see j'ai des chats and be like, but I don't know what des means. It means like, I have cats. It's what's missing in English. If you have to translate it to your English brain, it would be like, I have some cats. But I don't know, I just feel like it's a lame translation. J'ai le chat, j'ai les chats, j'ai un chat, j'ai des chats. I have the cat, I have the cats, I have a cat, I have cats. I don't know why we get rid of this. There are a lot of expressions in French that are like beaucoup de, assez de, and those, even if the thing following it is plural, where you would think to use de, because you're using this expression, you don't need to use de, you use de. Il y a des gens dans le café. There are people in the cafe, there are some people in the cafe. But if you want to say there are a lot of people in the cafe, il y a beaucoup de, now like trumps, that word, ugh. It is now beaucoup de gens. Even though gens is plural, beaucoup de, like, takes all the power of the sentence. Bon versus bien. First off, if this one confuses you so much, like, use a different adjective, because good is not like a smart adjective anyway. So maybe you'd be doing yourself a favor. Alright, so bon and bien. Bon and bien is one of these that like is just a recipe for the internet trolls to come for me, because there's so many different instances where you can say both, but from my experience, here's like a general rule that could probably save you most of the time. Bon is for food. Done. Il est bon le café? Yeah, that coffee's good. La pizza elle est bonne? That pizza's good? Le lait d'avoine, il est bon? Is this oat milk good? For the most part, when you're tasting something or asking if something's still good, it would be bon for food, okay? Now, everything else, like, this museum, is it good? This song, is it good? Most of those are bien. Il est bien le musée. Elle est bien la chanson. Ton lit, il est bien. Now, this gets like switched if you say, like, why they gotta do this to us? I don't know why they have to do this. It's a good bed. C'est un bon lit. It's a good song. C'est une bonne chanson. It's a good book. C'est un bon livre. But if you do this, is it good, the book? Il est bien le livre? Like, I told you, this stuff is just like silly. Again, for the most part, just avoid the verb bon and bien and just be like, is it interesting? C'est intéressant? In yet another instance of are things doing themselves, we have the se concept. So for example, I close my door. Je ferme la porte, right? I'm doing the closing, je ferme la porte. But if I'm like, oh yeah, that door just like closes on its own. As English speakers, we would probably just be like, la porte ferme toute seule. The door is closing itself, so you gotta add on a se. La porte se ferme toute seule. The door is what's closing itself by closing it's like doing itself. Y'all get it. On peut guérir la tristesse avec du vin parce que la tristesse ne se guérit pas toute seule. You feel me? It's not gonna cure itself, but it will with the wine. The wine cures sadness because sadness doesn't cure itself. Anytime you can like do this, like, is it doing itself? Then you add on a se. This one is really helpful. It's like the faire complex, faire, construction. So this is like the episode where you just gotta question, like, are you doing things for yourself, or are you just like waiting around for other people to do them for you? We're gonna take the example of getting your hair cut. If my friend comes over, my friend Thibaut comes over and I cut his hair, I would say, je coupe les cheveux de Thibaut. But then he leaves and I'm like, well, I need a haircut too. Je me coupe les cheveux. I cut my hair. I cut myself the hair. Then say I'm like, oh, but this looks crappy.
Oh, wow. No!
Let me go get my hair done. If you go to the barbershop and somebody else cuts your hair, like I need to get my hair done. See, in English we kind of do it too. Get done. Je me fais couper les cheveux chez le coiffeur. Je me fais. You're having somebody else do it for you. Je les fais croire que je l'aimais. Like, ooh, damn. Anytime you're making somebody do something or getting something done, you add on a faire before the verb. Je ne sais pas faire un gâteau, alors je le fais faire. I don't know how to make a cake, so I get it done. Anytime you want something done for you or to get something done, it's faire plus the verb. This has been yet another episode of me teaching you French all from my orange couch. Moral of the story in this episode is to ask yourself, who's doing a thing? And if you ain't doing a thing, who's doing it for you? And that's a life lesson. That goes beyond French. That's why there was that one rap song. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. Again, subscribe down below. I have another video coming up soon in French. And other than that, I'm always doing all kinds of nonsense out here in Paris. So follow me if you want. Also on Instagram. I'll see you there. Bisous. Later. Oh, and don't forget, like, we do this all the time in English too. We say the most messed up things and you don't even realize it. You'll be like, oh yeah, I don't have much money, but I'll make do with it. Like, make do? I'll make do. Like, I'll make do? Like that? No? Like what? Like 4 times 20 equals 80. That's logical to you? I mean, mathematically, yes, but like, this is why like I fuck with like the Belgians. We don't.